Well, once again, looks like the media is trying to cover for Joe Biden. For today's video, we'll be taking a look at a few articles from The Blaze. First up, we have a report showing a smoking gun email showing Joe Biden met with top Burisma exec while he was VP, contradicting his own claims. So we go down and take a look. A newly obtained email purportedly reveals that Joe Biden met with a top executive at Burisma, the Ukrainian natural gas company, when he was vice president, and during his son Hunter Biden's tenure on the company's board, the New York Post reported on Wednesday. The meeting allegedly happened less than a year before Biden admittedly pressured Ukrainian leaders to fire a top government prosecutor who was investigating Burisma. According to the Post, the smoking gun email shows that Hunter Biden allegedly brokered a meeting between his father and Vadim Poshorisky, from the Post, whom the Post reported was Burisma's number 3 executive, in April of 2015. So we see here a quote from the Post. The never-before-revealed meeting is mentioned in a message of appreciation that Vadim, an advisor of the board of Burisma, allegedly sent Hunter Biden on April 17, 2015, about a year after Hunter joined the Burisma board at a reported salary of up to $50,000 a month. It says, "Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to D.C. and giving an opportunity to meet your father and spent some time together. It is realty and honor and pleasure," the email reads. Also, according to the Post, the meeting happened about 1 year after, and I'm not going to butcher this guy's name any further, asked Hunter Biden in May 2014 email for advice on how you could use your influence to benefit Burisma. Less than 8 months after the alleged meeting, Biden pressured then Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko into firing Prosecutor General Viktor Shokin, who was investigating Burisma. Biden has since admitted he threatened to withhold U.S. money from Ukraine if Shokin was not fired. Of course, we all know Biden infamously recounted his threat to Poroshenko during a Council on Foreign Relations event in 2018. The quote you've seen says, "I have said, you're not getting the billion," Biden explained. "I'm going to be leaving here in, I think, about 6 hours. I looked at them and said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor is not fired, you're not getting the money." And there, of course, we know the last line. I like to keep the videos family friendly, so I'm not going to read it. You can read it for yourself. But, well, you know what? He got fired. Biden bragged, and they put in place someone who was solid at the time. Biden maintains that he has never spoken to his son, Hunter, about this overseas business dealing. The email directly contradicts Biden's claim. In fact, Hunter Biden even admitted last year that he discussed his overseas business dealings with his father at least once. Still, Biden has denied any wrongdoing. How the Post obtained the email? According to the Post, the email was extracted from a laptop that was dropped off at a computer repair store in Biden's home state of Delaware in April of 2019. The MacBook Pro computer was water damaged, but its owner never returned to the store for the device, the store's owner told the Post. The store's owner was not able to positively identify the owner of the computer, but said a Beau Biden founder sticker was on the outside of the device. Also located on the computer's hard drive were personal and explicit photos of Hunter Biden, the paper said. The store owner later alerted federal authorities to the laptop's existence. The FBI seized the laptop and a hard drive in December 2019, according to federal court subpoena obtained by the Post. However, prior to handing over the computer, the store owner made a copy of the computer's hard drive and gave it to the lawyer of Rudy Giuliani. The Post was alerted to the existence of the hard drive last month by Steve Bannon. The Giuliani gave the Post a copy of the hard drive over the weekend. And here's your first bit of proof that the media is trying to help Biden. In relation to this story, Facebook is actually suppressing the story pending a quote-unquote fact check. We'll skip the first part of this because it just kind of reiterates what the email is about. So here we start here. A spokesman for Facebook said on Wednesday that the social media platform would be reducing distribution of the Post story and noted that the report is eligible to be fact-checked by Facebook's third-party partners. While I will intentionally not link to the New York Post, I want to be clear that this story is eligible to be fact-checked by Facebook's third-party fact-checking partners, Facebook's Andy Stone tweeted on Wednesday. In the meantime, we are reducing its distribution on our platform. This is part of our standard process to reduce the spread of misinformation, he added in a follow-up tweet. We temporarily reduced distribution pending fact-checker review. Stone serves as the policy communications director at Facebook. He previously worked as press secretary for Senator Barbara Boxer, Democrat from California, and the communications director for the Democratic House Majority PAC. Of course, Facebook's policies on reducing misinformation state that the company will refer stories it thinks contain misinformation to third-party fact checkers for review. While an article is under review, Facebook suppresses the story in people's news feeds so that fewer people see it. The intent of this policy is to prevent the spread of what Facebook deems as misinformation. Facebook did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the New York Post on why it targeted the Post report and whether the fact-checking process had begun. The Trump campaign weighed in on Facebook's decision, accusing the big tech company of activity interfering in the election and rigging the election for Joe Biden. According to the Post, Twitter also added a warning label stating headlines don't tell the full story that is visible to some users who attempt to share the article. The warning is part of a test we're doing right now. It does not depend on the outlet of the article or the contents of the article, Twitter spokesman Trenton Kennedy said. And then finally, last but not least, Blaze also reports that Biden has answered less than half as many questions from the media as Trump has since August 31st. So a new report from Axios details that Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden might be the luckiest, least scrutinized frontrunner ever in a presidential election based on the media's highly favorable hands-off approach to the candidate. In making its case, the news outlet noted that Biden is yet to be pinned down on an array of legitimate questions regarding his mysterious intentions on packing the Supreme Court, as well as his views on Medicare for all, reallocating police department funding, the Green New Deal, and reparations for Black Americans. The former senator also has not been grilled over his questionable support of the 1994 crime bill. I'm pointing an example of the media's favorability toward Biden. Highlighted in the new report is a Trump campaign statistic not disputed by the Biden campaign that found that since August 31st, Biden has answered less than half as many questions from the press as Trump, 365 compared with 753. Axios noted that in that time, Biden has been interviewed by local TV reporters 35 times and national reporters 3 times and conducted 2 town halls. Earlier this year, Biden went more than a month without holding a press conference and has generally during the campaign flown under the radar and avoided appearances with reporters. The imbalance of press questions since August 31st is actually an improvement on a reported imbalance between July 19th and September 15th. The New York Post reported that during that time, Trump fielded 1,141 questions to Biden's 274 questions, a whopping 5 times more. Attempting to provide an explanation for the most recent statistic, Axios suggested the mainstream media's obsession with President Trump, along with the president's compulsion to dominate the news cycle, as reasons for the imbalance. But a more obvious explanation may simply be that the mainstream media have a biased opposition to Trump's re-election and therefore have no interest in grilling his challenger and risking damage to his election chances. Such media bias was on full display during an early September press conference in which reporters tossed softball question after softball question to Biden. Several conservative commentators lashed out in response to the event, calling it shameful and pathetic. It's like watching someone make sure a 3-year-old wins Candyland, Real Clear Politics senior writer Mark Hemingway retweeted, relaying a friend's text message. Trump campaign spokesman Andrew Clark told Axios, Biden has been the least scrutinized presidential candidate in modern history, at great disservice to the voters, but the press still has time to rectify that. So there you have it, folks. More protection for Joe Biden from the mainstream media. I'll include links to all of these articles in the description. And this is our first video for this channel. If you like the content, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell so you know when we upload new content. Certainly appreciate you viewing, and you have a great day.